All right, you guys are being recorded. Hope you don't mind. All right, we got one more minute. See if anybody else hops on. We got Saul that just jumped on. Good morning. We lost Brian. Good morning. All right, can you guys all hear me? Give me a thumbs up.
Yep, you're good.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks. All right. So we're approaching on that 9 a.m. and I know that your time is precious and I want to get through our session and I don't want to keep you any longer than I have to. So I'm going to start. Again, my name is Brittany Moulton. For those of you that don't know me, I'm here to do a 4-part series for you guys. This is a session that I'm doing in person at all of my other offices and I'm getting really great feedback. So I wanted to offer it to you guys virtually and it's called Lead Generation. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen here in a second so that you can see my PowerPoint presentation. And I will need someone just to give me a thumbs up to let me know that you can see the presentation because sometimes Teams is a little funky. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Cool. All right. Let me start the presentation then. Okay, here we go. All right. So this is, okay, all right. Sorry, my PowerPoint is asking me a million questions right now. Okay, so this is Effective Digital Lead Management Series. So this is a series talking all about how you get leads, where you can put your leads, how we can use leads in Coldwell Banker, where they're coming from, how we can get a little creative, and really how you can generate leads on your own. So the first session is today, September 13th, 9 a.m. And this one is called Lead Sources in Our CRM. So it's going to talk about where our lead sources are coming from and then also our CRM, which is InTouch. The next session is going to be session 2 on September 20th. You should have gotten an invite to that, generating your own leads. So that's going to talk about how we can generate our own leads, how we can cultivate new leads, and how we can get them. Number 3 is going to be nurturing your leads, how you can nurture them, how you can make them feel loved, so hopefully they can turn into profit. And then number 4 is targeting and retargeting leads with online advertising, using the tools with Coldwell Banker, and then also some tips and tricks that I have. Anyone have any questions before we begin? I think we're good. I think it's transcribing me talking, which is weird, but that's okay. All right. So what we're going to talk about today is Coldwell Banker lead sources. So most of you guys know that all of our leads are routed into our InTouch account, unless you have a different CRM that you're using. Some people like Zap, which is also offered on Desk. Some other people use different CRMs that they're just used to, that they've used in the past. But if you are affiliated with us, you get your InTouch account, which is your CRM. It's free. You can have InTouch Pro. I'm pretty sure most of you are InTouch Pro users, which has a lot more capabilities to be able to see what somebody's looking at when they're on their website. Or also there's other benefits like the blog and then other types of things that you can do. So basically what I'm here to tell you is all of your leads are going to actually be routed into your InTouch website. So if somebody goes onto your website and they put themselves on a search, you'll get notified that they put themselves on a search, and they can do that. And I will show you how to do that. And then also from ColdwellBankerHomes.com, which is our CB website, we have 2 in ColdwellBanker.com. Any leads that you get are going to be routed to InTouch. So if somebody comes on and is looking for a referral, you're going to get that lead through your InTouch website. So it all funnels to your InTouch site. Relocation, if you work with our relocation department, that's also where your leads are going to, as well as social ad engine. So if you played around on Desk, you know we have 2 social networks that help you with Facebook advertisement. One is Social Ad Engine, and the other is HomeSpotter Boost. The social ad engine is going to feed right into your InTouch account. So when somebody signs up, it's going to just funnel that lead right into your InTouch account. The one exception that does not go onto your InTouch account is actually HomeSpotter Boost. So I will show you how to get your leads through HomeSpotter Boost. We will circle back to that, but that one you actually are going to have to go into the HomeSpotter Boost platform on CB Desk, and you're going to have to actually go in there and export your leads. If you haven't used HomeSpotter Boost on desk, you might have used it if you've used Listing Concierge. Any Listing Concierge package that you use actually runs HomeSpotter Boost for you. And there are leads that come through HomeSpotter Boost. So at this point, let me exit out of here to show you how to get your leads through HomeSpotter Boost. So if we're looking at our desk, we're just going to click on the HomeSpotter Boost tile. So like I said, maybe you haven't ran a HomeSpotter Boost ad on your own, but you have ran Listing Concierge in the past. Then you are going to see leads that are going to come through on HomeSpotter Boost. These are not going to funnel into InTouch automatically like Social Ad Engine will. You're going to have to come in here and export the leads. So let me show you. So I'm just going to use this first listing as an example. I understand it's not in our metro, but I'm going to use it because it's right here in front of me. So you would basically come to this platform, you'd see this listing, it would say Brittany's listing, and then I would hit this view edit button here on the right-hand side. It's going to tell me the campaign is running. It's going to tell me how many people engaged in my campaign. So that would mean liked, shared, commented. How many clicks, so how many people have actually clicked on my ad to be rerouted to the landing page that HomeSpotter Boost actually sets up for you. How many ad views? So this is how many eyeballs have seen it in their news feed. So that doesn't mean that they've actually clicked it, but it's shown up in their news feed at one point or another. So they have an average right now of 1,088. It'll tell me my campaign is currently running. And then it also will give me a preview of what my ad looks like. So if you ran a Listing Concierge package, they put this all together for you. It's pretty simple. It's very easy, and they'll run this on your Facebook if your Facebook is connected to HomeSpotter Boost. If it's not, they run it on the Coldwell Banker, Florida, Northwest Florida. This one says East Coast because, like I said, this isn't in our metro. So if you don't have your Facebook connected to HomeSpotter Boost, it's going to run it on our generic one. So you do want to go in here and connect your Facebook so it's running on your platform. That way people can start liking and following your page rather than it just be running on our generic one. So it's also going to have you to tell you like when the ad's going to expire. So 1 week, 1 day, 11 hours. You can also edit the campaign if you want through the Listing Concierge platform. It's telling you the targeted area, so it's giving us a zip code. If we scroll down, usually it shows us the web view, but it's not showing us on this one. Oh, right here, they've changed it. Up here on the web, we can see what your web looks like. So HomeSpotter Boost not only puts it on Facebook and Instagram, it also is on a website. So if we went to weather.com, we could see Anthony's ad on the right-hand side. So where you go to get your leads. Right here on this engaged tab right here, you're going to click that. It's going to tell you other engagements, so all the engagements that have happened. And it's telling you that Courtney unlocked some photos and gave her email. So you're going to want to go right here to where it says export leads. And you're going to want to export that Excel spreadsheet and load it into InTouch. That way you can start running them on a drip campaign and say, hey, Courtney, you saw that you were interested in my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 listing on Main Street. Can I help you get more information? Are you looking to buy? Have you been pre-qualified? However you want to approach it, you're going to have to come in here and grab those leads. So that's HomeSpotter Boost. So that is the one that you are going to have to go in and export one extra step and put it into your InTouch. All the other ones are actually already going to funnel through your InTouch. So let's go back to the presentation. So that's our one exception is Boost. Moving on, InTouch lead integration. Find potential leads in your Outbooks, in your Outlook, your Gmail accounts, and anywhere else that you might have leads. So what this is referring to is if you haven't already set up your integrations on InTouch, meaning that you're flowing your Google contacts into InTouch. So when you add someone to your phone, it's flowing in. Or maybe when you're adding something in your Outlook, it's flowing in. Your Gmail, same thing. You can connect all of those integrations to your InTouch that anytime you add a new contact, it's going to flow right into your InTouch to keep everybody in one seamless place. So this is telling you how to use the integration tool. So if you wanted to connect a third-party lead system, if you're, maybe you have leads coming in from realtor.com, homes.com, HomeSnap, and so many more. There's a lot on there. Actually, there's also Zillow. You can connect all of those to import directly into your InTouch. And the reason why you would want to do this is this keeps all of your contacts and all your leads in one place to where you really can keep a handle on managing them. And then second, God forbid something was to happen and you needed all your stuff to be in one place. InTouch does have the capability for you to export all of your leads onto an Excel spreadsheet in one touch to go button. So it's very simple just to get all your leads out if you needed to, as well as get your leads in. And I always recommend, having a master list going on your computer because technology fails and we just want to make sure that we have everything in one place. Those are important. Those are your bread and butter. Those are your leads. You want to make sure that you have a really great system in place that when you get a lead, that you have a process in place. And that's what we're going to talk about. Next, InTouch lead management. So what I want you guys all to do, if you haven't, go ahead and register on your own InTouch website. So how you're going to do that is you're just going to go to your website just like your consumer would. If you haven't looked at your website in a while, I encourage you to do that because maybe it needs some love, right? How often do we visit our own website? We usually set it up and we forget it, but we need to make sure that everything's still working. Maybe you have a picture on there that's got a broken link, or maybe the video that you posted is no longer available. Make sure you're going onto your website pretty often so you can make sure, number one, it's optimizing on your cell phone, on your desktop view. What people are seeing is what you want them to see. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at a website with an agent and they're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that was on there. So make sure you know what's on your website. What if somebody calls you and says, hey, Jen, I just saw your website. This property on your website looks awesome. Can you show it to me? And you look at them and you say, well, I don't really know what it is. Make sure you're going on there and looking at what's on your actual website. So best practice is to go and register so you can see what other people are seeing. There's also filters. So some of the favorites are email address status not entered, call and get an email, right? So if the email is undeliverable, call and get an updated email address, right? So you're going to have some leads that have some broken details. Go and follow up. Say, hey, I'm updating my list. I want to make sure I have you for all of my holiday drip campaigns. What's your updated email address, right? What's your new address? Have you moved, right? We're hoping they haven't moved. We're hoping if they did, they called you. But if they have moved, what's your new address? Go in there and put them in a group, right? So groups are important, very important. So keeping yourself organized is going to be key, right? So you know who's in what group, right? Maybe you have a group for buyers, you have a group for sellers, maybe you have a group for just your sphere, you have a group for friends and family, you have a group for open house guests, you have a group for Zillow leads, right? Keep your InTouch as organized as you can. It's going to make your life so much simpler. Status, right? Cold, warm. Do you know what their status is? Do you know if they're warm? Are they ready to buy or sell in the next couple months? Or are they really cold? This is going to be a lead you're going to have to work for a year. Do you know what the status is, right? So maybe you need to give them a buzz and say, hey, where are we at? Maybe that's just a way to follow up and say, hey, haven't heard from you in a while. Are you still looking on, engulf breeze in the next year? Or have your interests changed? Are they on an active campaign? So do you have them on your newsletter, right? Do you every month a newsletter goes out to all of your contacts? Are you going into that newsletter? Are you looking at it? Are you reading through it? Are you seeing what it says? Are you editing it? Are you adding video content to it, right? Are they on a campaign? All of your contacts, no matter what the contact, should be on some sort of a campaign. Doesn't have to be a buyer campaign, a seller campaign, which are available. It can be just your simple newsletter. It could just be your holiday campaign, which is my favorite because it's a no pressure campaign. It's just, happy holidays. It goes through 22 holidays throughout 2021, and we'll start to get our new one for next year here in the next couple months. So make sure they're on campaigns. Make sure that you have them organized, right? So we're only as good as how organized we are. And if we're not organized and we just have chaos and tons of leads everywhere, we're never going to be able to put them on streamlined drip campaigns. So let's get organized. So that's what we need to do in this first step. InTouch lead management. So complete the contact profile with details. If you haven't put in a contact yet, then you might not know how much you can actually put in that contact profile, right? So put the profile details, put their phone number, their address, their status, their type of contact, their time frame and budget. The more that you can put in there, the better for you to refresh your memory when you're going back and saying, who was that person again, right? Like, we're all human. We know that sometimes we're not going to be able to remember every single person we meet, but the more information you have in your contact profile, the better it's going to jog your memory. I usually write like 3 to 4 bullet points, right? Like, met them at a realtor function, or met them at the restaurant. They're looking for this house in the future. They're looking for a dream condo on the beach, right? So it jogs your memory to remember back, like, oh yes, we had that conversation. Let me call them and check on them. Customize your welcome email. This is super important. I really feel like this is something that we don't touch on a lot. Anytime you add someone to your database, they get a welcome email. And a lot of people don't know that. So they get a welcome email that you can actually go in there and you can actually change it all up and say whatever you want to say. It's going to be generic if you haven't touched it. So let me show you how to do that, because like I said, I feel like this is something that we miss out on a lot. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go to our InTouch account, which I have mine pulled up already. Right here at the top right, it says account. We're going to go where it says email settings. It's going to take us right to all of our email settings. And I'm sorry that my computer is being a little bit slow right now. First off is your email signature. If you don't have anything in here, when you're sending an email, it's going to be blank. So what I would do, it looks like Connie's already done this. She's copied and pasted her email signature from her Outlook. Go ahead and do that so it's seamless from your InTouch email to your Outlook email. If you didn't already know, you have an Outlook and a InTouch email. So anytime you send an email through our InTouch platform, it's going to be your InTouch email. So you need to make sure that your signature is seamless, so it's just branded all across the board. Here's your quick email text, right? So if you wanted to just go ahead and send out a quick email, you can actually do that right now. You can create a really quick email text. You can use your phone if you want to, or there's other ideas that you have. Here's your templates, your welcome emails. So here it goes, right here. It's saying if somebody registers to your website, this is the first email that they're gonna get. So you can go in here and you can actually change it. I have an agent in our Destin area that's only serving one really big complex in Destin. So we changed this welcome email and we put in her language for the development, right? Because that's all the leads she's getting is for the specific development. And we catered anyone who registered to our website are going to get, hey, welcome. I see you're interested in this amazing complex. This is the next steps, right? So you can customize this to as personal as you want or as generic as you want. If you've manually entered a contact, so you've gone in there and added a contact, this is the first email that they're going to get when you send it. Initial contact wizard email. So this is going to be a greeting that they're going to get if they initially come in through a lead generation, right? So we just want to make sure that we're going in here and we're changing this, right? So if they're looking for a CMA, right, you can get a free CMA on your website. Maybe they click that button. This is going to be the email they're going to get. So just make sure that this is all filled out and it's to your liking. A lot of people don't even know that this is happening when somebody comes onto their website and that you can actually customize this. You can customize this so much. You can put a video in here. You can put pictures. You can literally get as like granular as you want, or you can get as, you know, just generic as you want. It's all dependent upon what you want and what works best for you. You're the expert. So that's how you're going to go in there and change those welcome emails. So let's go back to my PowerPoint. So go in there and customize your welcome email, and then also turn your activity alerts on. So let me toggle back to InTouch. Sorry for all the screen going back and forth, but I just want to make sure that you have your settings on. So if we go to my account right here, if you go to your activity alerts, this is where it's going to tell you deliver my email alerts to Connie has her Florida Moves email there. And then also deliver my text alerts to her phone number, and you can change those if you'd like. You've also got how you would like to receive different notifications. So if somebody is a new contact, do you want them to text you and say, hey, a new contact just set up on your website? Or do you just want them to email them or the mobile app? So you can actually download a mobile app on InTouch. And how you're going to do that right here is you would just go here and click here, and it would give you a pin to download our mobile app. So you can get a notification right away to your phone. Contact is on my website. You can choose these and filter these however you want to be notified. So make sure that your filters are on the way that you want them to be so that you can get in contact with people that are on your website as quickly as possible. All right, so that's that. Let's go to the next slide. Lead management and adding a contact to a group. So you're going to want to add it to a group. We've already kind of talked about this. Buyers, sellers, renters, family, and friends, create custom groups. So just some examples of what types of groups, if you needed some examples. Create your own custom lead pipeline. Okay, so this one is a little confusing, but I want to talk through this. So in your account on InTouch, let me toggle back to InTouch. Right here where it says status setup, this is where you can actually change the colors of your pipeline. You can change your pipeline if you want it to be in your pipeline. Trash, obviously you might not want in your pipeline. Maybe the different types of warm and pending you don't want in your pipeline. You can change the colors. Change the pipeline to meet your needs. You can also add a different status by clicking right over here on the plus status button and add a contact status. So this is going to be what meets your needs individually. So it's going to be different from person to person. Some people don't really like the pipeline. I come from a sales background. Pipeline is, I only talk pipeline. What's in my pipeline, what I'm working on, what's in the next 5 to 6 months. That's how I plan. That's how I work. But some people are different. So this is actually customizable to meet all of our needs, to be different, so that you can make it who and how you want it. So that's how you would change your pipeline. Let's go back to our slide. And then add the Market Leader mobile app to your phone. We've already talked about this a little bit. It syncs to your mydesk.com and InTouch app, and it's always up to date. It's real-time updates via text. So if you're out and about showing property, you can stay in touch with your potential clients right away. And it's great. It's great that you get it right on your phone. You can reach out to them right away. You can send them a quick text. You can send them a quick email. We saw that when we looked at our quick emails, that you can just send a quick one. You don't have time to write one. You just want to send something real quick. You get real-time updates, and then also InTouch timeline tracks all communication, even your text message, which is amazing. So you can go back and say, what did we talk about? You know, maybe they're asking you questions about what property they're looking for and you don't remember. So you can always go back and take a peek. All right. So this is actually our last slide. So InTouch lead management, use InTouch quick text feature to create quick responses for emails of any type of lead. We talked about that. I showed you how to do that. Access your quick text on desktop or phone. Use emails for text messaging. Nurture the contact with an automated marketing campaign. So determine how you can add value, right? So don't just set someone up on a drip campaign just to set them up. That's how you're going to get someone to unsubscribe to you, right? Set them up for their specific needs. So if you know this is the buyer, set them up for a buyer campaign. If you know they're a seller, set them up for a seller campaign. Or you know they may not be ready to sell or buy right now. Don't spam them, right? Check in on them. Set some activity alerts for you to go back and check in on them in 4 months, 3 months, right? Engage with them on social media. Add them on Facebook. Genuinely be caring and concerned with their well-being, right? People know and work with people they like and know. So if you're going the extra mile and you have them on Facebook and you're following up with them, that's what's really going to help you. Choose the marketing campaign that address need. We talked about that. Can they accept my email or both? Use filters to determine. So you can turn on or off. You can also see who's unsubscribed, who's bounced off your website, and who's opened your emails. That's the beauty of InTouch. It gives you that analytical data that we can sit down and we can actually use. And that's where we can really talk about your targeted marketing and who you're marketing and where your farm area is. So that analytical data is key. Select the right type of campaign, email, mail, or multi-channel. So when I sit down with most of you and we talk about a marketing campaign, the first question I'm going to ask you is, where is your farm area and what's your demographic, right? So that's really important. And I think a lot of people forget that. If you are targeting a specific demographic, then you're going to have to tailor your needs to that demographic, right? So if we're talking someone in their 60s or older, you're not going to really reach them on social media like you would my generation. You're going to want to use more mail, multi-channeled, direct mail, newspaper ads, things like that, because we know that that's what they still consume. That's how they get their information. Whereas someone like me, I don't check my mail. I hate mail. I mean, I was just on vacation for a week. I threw it all away. My husband and I pay all our bills online. So you probably wouldn't get me with a direct mail piece, but you would on Facebook, you would on TikTok, you would get me in different types of ways. So that's where you and I would have to sit down, talk about your farm area. That's where we'd have to take a deep dive and see what your demographic is and how we can really reach them. Set up a campaign or add a contact to an existing campaign. So we can do that all through In Touch. So you can just add them to an existing campaign that's already going, or we can set them up to a new campaign. Be sure to select another campaign to begin after the first campaign is complete. Very important, right? So we've talked about how these are set and forget most of the time. You want to make sure that you don't forget. You don't forget and not touch back with them, or you don't follow back up with them. So when you set that campaign up, maybe put an activity alert to maybe give them a phone call, or, you know, ask them to go to coffee, buy them a coffee, meet with them, whatever it may be, whatever your strategy is, and then set them back up on another campaign so that they don't forget you. But like I said, we don't want to be spammers. So that's where I think a lot of times we need to have a good mix of email campaign and social interaction as well as social media, because I feel like those touches are less intrusive and can actually be a little bit more warm. So what's next in our session? Next one is generating your own leads. How we're going to generate them, what types of tools that we have with Coldwell Banker that you can generate leads on your own without paying for anything. We're going to talk about how I feel like a lot of agents forget that their sphere of influence is their biggest asset that they can have, because those are the people that like, know, and trust you and will refer you. So how we can grow our sphere as well. So we have a little bit of time, so I'm going to toggle back over to number one, make sure there's no questions in the chat. Make sure you're all still here. And then no questions in the chat. Does anyone have any questions before I go into showing you how to set up campaigns? Let me stop sharing my screen for a second. That way I can see your faces. All right. Anybody have any questions? I know I talk really fast. I'm sorry. Are we good? Are we following? Can you hear me? Cool. All right. Got the thumbs up. Awesome. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you how to set up campaigns, the different places that you can go and you can set people up on, just so you can see how it goes in Touch. And then from there, I'll take questions at the end, making sure my watch isn't buzzing that you guys are asking questions. So we talked about adding your contacts. So if you go to contacts right here and you go to import contacts, this is how you can go and put in one specific contact. You can import a list. This is also where you can add your lead streams and your integrations. So I'm going to hit view integrations just so I can show you what I talked about, how you can add your Google, your Office 365, Datloop. I believe Datloop is a Pro Advantage only. So if you don't have Pro, you might not be able to connect Datloop. You got Trulia and Zillow, as well as all the other ones that you can add. So this will funnel all your leads into In Touch. If you don't have these turned on, I would go in there and turn them on. So let's go up here to the marketing tab and we're going to hit the marketing center. This is going to take you to all the marketing collateral that In Touch has for you, as well as campaign templates. So if you look here on the left-hand side, it says Design Library. I'm going to click on Campaign Templates. This is going to be all the templates that we have that are multi-channeled templates for you to send out to prospective buyers, sellers, leads. On the left-hand side, you can actually filter all of these different types. So you can pick if you want a date campaign, interval campaign, birthday, anniversary, as well as collection. So depending upon your needs, you have buyer, education, general, home and garden, lead, recruiting. You might not see the recruiting, repeat and referral, retention, and seller. So depending on your needs, that's what you're going to choose. Like I said earlier, my favorite is this seasonal holiday email. It's got 22 email steps. This is how you can see what's encompassed in each campaign. It'll tell you that this one has 22 email steps. It doesn't have any direct mail steps, but there are campaigns that do. And those activity steps that I was telling you about are reminders for you to follow up. So you can always add activity steps if they don't have them. So you can always go right here and it'll say show campaign details. It'll show you all the emails that it is going to send out. So this is a holiday one. Then you would just go in here and you would choose this template and you would customize each one. Make sure that the date that it's being sent out is the date that you want it to be sent out, making sure that the email subject is what you want. And then of course, personalizing the message, making sure that all the wording on the email fits your brand and who you are as an individual, because they are obviously boxed. You want to go in there and make sure that there's nothing funky in there. If you want to add a video or something, you can. And then once you've gone in here and personalized everything, all you would do is add or remove your contacts. If you have them in groups like Connie does, which is awesome, you can add the groups. You could add all your groups. If you don't have groups, you would just come up here to contacts and add them individually or add them all at once. So that's how you would activate the campaign. And the first email would go out 9/22 for fall. So that's how you would do a multi-dripped campaign. You can also always go up to your contacts button right here and go to all contacts and go in here and set them up individually on marketing. If they have a purple bubble teardrop, that means that they're already on a marketing campaign. If they're not, then you can add them right here by going in here and adding one of the ones that you already have set up, or you can add them to a new one. Also, if you don't have them on listing searches, they're not going to have little houses. So listing searches are going to be this individual you're trying to drip to get them information as soon as a new property, just like you can do through the MLS. You can do that here on In Touch, and it's branded specifically to you rather than the MLS, which I love. So you would just hit this little add button right here next to the contact. You name the search. So if they're looking for a property in Navarre Beach, put that. You would change your frequency. So if a property comes available, you would do it as soon as possible. Or if you only want to drip them daily, twice per week, weekly, twice per month, monthly, or never, you can change that filter. Email subject would be properties for sale on Navarre Beach, right? Or new properties. We would say for sale. You can also put them on rent. People have asked me that question before. And then also send me a copy. Usually I do. If you have someone that's actively searching for a property, I would say send yourself a copy. Going back to what we said earlier in the session, you want to know what you're sending out to your prospective clients, because if they call you and they say, hey, I saw that house on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, you can go and you can check it out on the MLS, but it'd be faster to know, yes, I got that email too. I already pulled the comps, right? Or I already pulled the information. And then we would only want active. This is where you would actually put the area or switch to a map. So put in their demographics and what they want, as well as their search criteria. And it can actually get really filtered and very nitty gritty. You got outdoor features, interior features, accessibility, just distress sale, view, location in schools, property restrictions. It's very, very customizable, just like the MLS is. I just think this looks a lot better. It's more professional. It's got everything on a streamline. It's not coming from the MLS. It's coming from you, from your website. And then it drives them back to your website. So all about driving them back to that website. So that's how you'd set them up on a drip campaign email for their property searches. And then over here, of course, more actions. You can send them a CMA. This is a pro feature, a follow-up wizard. That was what we talked about, those emails that you could just click real quick and send to them. Or send them an email or add a note. So there's a lot of really great things that you can do with In Touch for your leads once you get them into the platform. A lot of the hurdles is getting your leads into the platform in the beginning, and then setting them up on these drip campaigns and getting them grouped correctly so that you can really follow up with them. This is also where you can add, right here where it says do now, this is where you can add activities. So if you wanted to add a callback or a reminder that you need to follow up with this person, that's where you would do this. And I use reminders all the time. That's how I keep in touch with all y'all, is putting stuff on my calendar saying follow up with Jen, follow up with Brian, circle back, checking on you guys. That's how I stay sane. So you can also add a contact from right here with this contact button. You can print labels right here as well through In Touch. So if you're doing that direct marketing campaign and you have all of your leads here in Touch, you can print the labels from right here. Super easy, which is awesome. You can find a contact up here. You can also sort your contacts by different filters as well. So this is our CRM. If you haven't played around with InTouch, highly encourage it. It's very user-friendly. Once you get the hang of it, sometimes it's a little clunky, but this is where you're going to get all of your leads funneled in. So I like to say keep it all streamlined in one place. I did want to show you how to export your contacts because we did talk about that. So right here where it says contacts, where you go down here where it says export contacts, you can actually export all of your contacts from InTouch, even if they are integrated with different programs. So Zillow, Realtor.com, if they're all here, you can actually go right here. You can click all of them or all contacts, and you can export them, and it'll export it into an Excel spreadsheet. So you have it on your computer ready to go. If we change CRMs or you decided that you were going to sell your leads, I don't know, whatever you decided, this is how you would go and export it. So you're not married to this program. A lot of agents are scared sometimes to put their contacts in a CRM because they think they'll never get them back. But you have the ability to go in here and export your contacts at any point in time, which is reassuring and I think makes a lot of agents feel better about the program. When you go to your home screen, this is where that pipeline is going to show when we talked about pipeline. So it's got your contacts and your colors, your cold, your sold, your made contact, hot, pending, warm, and new, as well as your dashboard of your new contacts that you've added recently. On the right-hand side, it's going to say you've received 0 contacts in the last 30 days. That would be because Connie and I don't sell, so we don't have any new ones. They just put a new feature here on the right-hand side for InTouch. It's showing you where your visitors are coming in the last 30 days. If you know me, I'm all about analytical data. That's my jam. I like to see where people are coming from. I like to see where my marketing efforts are working. So I like that they added this so that we can see where they're coming from. So yeah, so that's InTouch. That's where all your leads are going to live. Does anyone have any questions? We are ending a little early today, I think, because I talked too fast, but that's okay. And we got a hand up to Mel.
Hey, Brittany. I just wanted to kind of point out, and again, it's probably unique to us here in Navarre. Can you hear me okay? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I agree that the listing searches from the CRM from InTouch are more attractive and look better. One of the challenges with us being linked to Neighbor is it only pulls properties listed in Neighbor. It doesn't pull from eCar. And because, Navarre is kind of split between eCar and Neighbor.
Yeah.
Those leads are only going to get listings put in by Neighbor members, not eCar members. So unfortunately, I find myself using the MLS more because it exposes my leads to everything that's out there as opposed to just what's listed in Neighbors. It's somewhat limiting, and I don't want to be the wet rag, on the training, so to speak, but it is a limitation that, again, is probably unique to us here in Navarre, but it is a limitation.
You are correct. So you guys are in a very unique position where you're at because you kind of hover around 4 different MLSs sometimes. Have you tried adding those MLSs to your InTouch account? So not only just having the one, but under your MLS settings in InTouch, do you have the other ones added?
So I have Neighbor and Par both on there, and that's another somewhat issue because, anybody who's a member of both, your clients are probably going to get duplicates. If when I put my listings in Par and I put them in Neighbor, it's going to show up twice in my InTouch. Now, as far as eCar, I'm not a member, so that limitation is just there. However, if you set them up through Flex, which kind of marries the two, they get it.
Yeah, no, I understand your frustration, and I think that is something that we have discussed not only for InTouch but also Moxie, because I think sometimes we have problems pulling up those comps and the specific MLS demographics that we want on Moxie. What I've been told, and I know you've probably been told this for years, is they're working on a solution for us here because we are so unique up here in Northwest Florida, being that we have 4 different MLSs that we have one office, especially your office, that kind of teeters on all 4. So to your point, knowing that, you probably would want to use your MLS search filter, unless you know that that specific person is looking in that area that you could put them on In Touch, but that is a lot of extra steps. So I would say whatever you works best for you and is working is wonderful. I will also say that this is something we have on our list as we create our new CRM. A lot of you guys know that we are working as a company to create an internal CRM that's not on a third-party platform. And it is something that Connie and I have bubbled up to management that we are very unique here in Northwest Florida, and that CRM is going to have to talk to multiple MLSs in our area. So we're hoping that that's going to get fixed in the future. That doesn't help us today. So your solution would be to use the MLS to set them up on drip campaigns, unless you know that they're in that specific demographic. So thank you for pointing that out, because you guys are in a unique situation up here, and that doesn't really make anything better. And I wish I had a better answer for you. So thanks for pointing that out. Anybody else have any questions? I saw Susan joined us. We lost Brian. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining this session. Like I said, I am doing the session in person at all my other offices. So if you miss a session and you want to join a session in person, I can always send you that information. Otherwise, I will be recording these, and I will send the recording to Dina so she can send it out if she'd like. You guys have been super wonderful. I miss seeing all of your faces and hope to be back in your office very soon. Please know that I'm available to each and every one of you for a one-on-one. If you want to meet for coffee, or if you want to meet virtually, we can do that. Happy to help in any way I can. And I hope that you are all safe and healthy. And thanks for joining my class today. And I hope you guys all have a great day.
Thanks, Brittany.
Thanks, Jen. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. Sorry I was late.
No, you're good.
I'll be on time next time, I swear.
You're okay. So happy.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.